have Jihad with us. How are you, Jihad?
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Jihad, how are you, my friend?
What's the topic?
The topic is how to do wudu. How to do wudu, Jihad?
Before you pray,
Yeah.
you have to put the water on your face,
Okay.
inside your nose,
Okay.
inside your ears,
All right.
on your hair, on your arms, on your legs, and on your private parts.
Okay.
Well, when you wash each individual body part, you should do it 3 times each.
All right. So 3 times, and let us count together.
That's how the Prophet did it.
And you have to wipe your hair, right?
Oh,
your head.
but hang on. But before we get into that, can we set the record straight? Because the other day you said that I was using the F word and I threatened to kill you. That's not true. You must be confusing me with somebody else.
Yeah, there's many people call themselves jihad. Who can, I don't know. You know.
Okay,
somebody.
but I didn't do those things.
Yeah, it's not
so
you.
You shouldn't accuse me.
I'm not saying you. I didn't say you. I'm saying someone. His name is Jihad, etc. He is saying I can show I show the text. You know. Actually,
yeah, sure. Because it's not me.
Yeah,
but anyways.
Anyway, so now you missed something. You missed something. That your prophet, he have to wipe his head with that water too, correct?
Are you talking about? So are you referencing the hadith where supposedly the Prophet alayhi salam took a bath in water that might have possibly not been clean?
Not possibly. It says there's dead dogs and women blood from menstruation and rags and garbage, and you just said he took a bath, so you agree he took a bath there. Okay,
but don't you know that he lived in the desert, my friend, when the water is very scarce?
But he is the only one who was doing that. You see, in the desert, because water is so little, nobody throw garbage in it unless it is bad water, correct? This is the only source of water. I mean, you just say that there is little water. So why in the world anyone want to throw garbage and dead dogs in the only water they drink? Obviously, this is not the only water they have. And you know that Muslims, they have Zamzam, correct? So Muhammad, he can't go to Zamzam. According to Muslim, this is very holy water. And he can't clean himself. It's in the same town. So why he need to go to that water?
But this is not a good argument. I mean, you know, you can come with something else, because this is from at that time things were different.
So at that time,
maybe at that specific time, he needed to pray, and there was no water around him at the moment. You see, so
okay. Let me ask you.
Where are you going to go with this?
So why people are questioning how he do that? Because if this is normal at that time, then nobody should be asking how you do that.
Well, because, you know, I mean, they have a question, and he told them that...
No. This is not a question. They are saying to him, read carefully. You do this?
Well, if you need me to read the screen, I need to get my laptop. So just 1 minute. Because I'm calling you with my phone. Just 1 moment.
All right. Did he hang up? I think he hung up. He will call me back.
No, I did not hang up.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. Just 1 moment. Okay. YouTube. So, will you allow me to talk about the Bible too?
We can go as you want, but trying to change the topic, no problem.
No, not now. We'll finish the topic.
Okay.
At some point in the conversation.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
So? Sorry, Jihad. Somebody called by mistake. Fatima, if you keep calling, I will block you. I'm talking to the person. All right, Fatima, if you call one more time.
Hello?
Yeah, there's somebody,
I'm here.
Sheikh Fatima, he called and I accepted his call by mistake.
So are you hanging up on me to take another call?
No. By mistake, I accepted his call.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're back to the topic, right?
Yeah. Read.
It was said, "O Messenger of Allah, you perform wudu from the well into which the bodies of dogs, menstrual rags, and garbage are thrown." He said, "Water is pure and is not made impure by anything." So,
yeah,
what's the issue?
Well, the issue now, your prophet, he is preparing himself to pray to Allah. Correct?
What's the issue there?
I'm saying that your prophet, what is the purpose of the wudu? The word wudu.
The word wudu is to purify yourself.
Okay.
Clean yourself.
So how you purify yourself to meet Allah? By putting water, have dead dogs stuff in it, women blood from period, which will be all over the water, very dirty, and even the hadith says stinky garbage. So how you are purifying yourself? In one hand,
I mean, it's not something I would do.
Yeah.
But
why you will not do? Why you will not do?
Because I have running water, because I live in the 21st century.
Well, there's always rainwater somewhere. Otherwise, those people, they will be dead.
Okay, so are you trying to say that there was running water that he could have used?
Are you saying to me that people, they used to drink from that water and at the same time they throw their dogs in it and garbage?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? It's obvious. There's no way. People will kill you if you do that. I mean, if this is the only water they have, and then you throw garbage in it, or you pee in it, or you throw because when a woman, they throw their menstruation rags, this is worse than peeing. Do you think there's any human being, little tiny group of people who live in a place, have little tiny body of water, and then what they do, they throw garbage in it, and they throw the dead dogs? I mean, you can throw the dead dog in the sand. You don't have to throw it there. You can throw your rags in the sand. You have a desert, you have the whole desert.
But do we have to agree with this hadith?
What do you mean you have to? This is sahih.
Yeah, but I thought it's been established now, and I thought you were well aware that not every sahih hadith is correct. And I thought...
So now we have a new game, that not every authentic hadith is authentic.
You know, in my opinion, I don't trust all of the Sahaba. I do not.
You don't?
Because I think some of those Sahabi were liars in my book. Some of them. So, but if we're going to operate under the assumption that this is Sahih,
okay,
and the Prophet did it, then the Prophet did it, and he knows what the best thing to do is.
So why you
Allah will protect him from any disease coming to him.
He did not. Allah did not protect him. Your Prophet is always sick.
He's always sick.
Yeah, I can show you tons of hadith
about him. What do you mean by that?
Well,
what do you mean he's always sick?
Okay, isn't it your Prophet? He says that we, the people of the prophets, Allah, He tests us by being sick, and He mentioned being sick because of a fleas, literally.
I've never heard about that.
Okay, let me show you the hadith. But what do you think about a prophet? This is explained why he had too much fleas. You know, because being dirty.
But CP, let me explain to you. This is not the essence of Islam. These finer details of the Prophet's life that you're mentioning, this is not the reason why we have Iman. At the end of the day, we seek to pray and to fast and to believe in Allah and to believe in His Prophet and to believe in what He taught. But you go to things like, you know, the Prophet, he was a man, so he lived an everyday life.
He was a dirty man. Not a man. He was a dirty man.
So, based on the resources resources that he had available to him, and nobody can be really certain
Well,
for
no,
sure. I
hold
mean,
on, hold on. You see, if this is what people do, I ask you, you said yourself, I will not do that. And there's no way people, they are going to throw garbage in the water they drink. And obviously, this is not the water they drink from, right? Read with me carefully. You're a prophet here. This is how sick he always is. He always have a fever. He's always sick. And why he is sick, it's clear that Allah did not, as you said, Allah protect him as you claim. Actually, even Muhammad died by poison. What protection? Then it says here,
he died by poison?
Yes.
By a Jewish woman?
Yeah, she bought poison from Home Depot for rats, and she put it in the food for him, and he died.
From where? From where?
From Home Depot. What? I mean, there's no Home Depot at that time. Don't tell me there's no Home Depot at that time. That would be shocking news for me. I mean, how in the world people they can live without Home Depot at that time? Come on, the jihad, don't do that to me. Come on, you know.
Home Depot.
Yeah.
Man, this is all just a joke to you, huh?
Okay, so now I'm asking you. So you're a prophet. You said he's protected. Read with me carefully. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri reported that he came, and actually you speak Arabic, you do not need the English one. Shall I send you the link?
You can send me the link, but I still
okay.
Okay, you know that like I'm third grade with Arabic reading.
Okay, no
so
problem.
We can do English. I'll accept it.
He came to the messenger of Allah, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, which while he had a fever, he had covering over him. He placed his hand on him, and he discovered that he is hot above the covering. Not only is hot, I mean, guys, even the covering.
Well, hold on, slow down. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri reported that he came to the messenger of Allah, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, while he had a fever. He had a covering over him. He placed his hand on him and discovered that it was hot above the covering. Abu Sa'id exclaimed, "How hot your fever is, Messenger of Allah." He said, "We are like that. The affliction is hard on us, but the reward is doubled." And that's all I can read. I can't read anything else.
Okay, continue. I screwed down.
Is doubled for, let me see. Okay. For us. He said, "Messenger of Allah, which people have the greatest affliction?" He replied, "The prophets, and then the righteous. One of them was tested by poverty to such an extent." One of them, that's true. In the Bible, you have...
Continue.
One of them was tested by and a prophet cannot get sick. I mean, if he's a man, he
continue.
One of them was tested by poverty to such an extent that he could only find a robe to cover himself with, and he wore it. Another was tested by fleas until they killed him. They have greater joy in affliction than one of...
So Muhammad, he was suffering from fleas.
And another was tested by fleas, but did it say Muhammad exactly, or was it say one of them was tested by poverty?
So are you saying your prophet don't have fleas?
He could. I'm not saying that he didn't, but I'm not saying that he did, because I never seen anything that he did. But if he did have fleas, why would that be such a big deal? I don't get it.
Okay, because
if he's a man,
he's a man, no problem. He's a man. The Muslim actually, in his time, they are full of fleas. You are right, and I can show you that all of them they are full of fleas. To the point the fleas come from their head like rain. But this is another question now. Why a person, he is a prophet of God, he been taught how to do ablution. And ablution, the purpose of it is to be clean. The purpose is to meet Allah. Let me ask you, the woman is in Islam, she is not allowed to pray when she have her menstruation.
No, a woman should not pray with menstruation.
Exactly. What menstruation does then, according to the Islam, then for the woman, to make her not to be able to pray?
Okay. Okay.
Make her impure, correct? Impure.
Yes.
Okay. So you're a prophet now taking a shower, and you are the one who use a bath, or not me. He taking a bath in a water have menstruation blood drags. So how he is preparing himself to meet Allah, and how he forbid the women from praying to Allah because they have menstruation, yet himself he jumped in the water.
Maybe he just made, he made a mistake.
Oh, that's a mistake. But now Muhammad he established a rule saying that.
Do you think I know? How do I know? I mean, I wish we could have a topic about something that I know about or that I'm prepared for.
So
but this topic,
okay,
if the Prophet did it, he did it.
Okay,
that's that.
Okay,
we cannot change it.
No, but we are questioning. You see here, we are questioning his. He have a mental illness. This guy. I mean, there's no way a person.
No.
Okay, hold on. What is the sign, the clear sign of somebody have a mental illness? Can you tell me? How we know if somebody have mental illness?
Well, there's a it depends, CP, because there's a lot of different kinds of mental illnesses that exist. There's depression, there's anxiety, there's schizophrenia. So it's not something you can pinpoint exactly.
You say the three things to me. Can you say the first one? And we'll go second and third. The first one is
there's depression, there's anxiety, and there's schizophrenia.
Right.
The first two being more mild.
Did your prophet try to commit suicide because of his depression?
I heard of that, but I heard that was because in the beginning he was very shocked that he was a prophet.
So now we proved, me and you, that Muhammad was suffering from bad depression to the point he tried to commit suicide. Correct?
Because CP, he wasn't.
Doesn't matter what the cause. It doesn't matter. You see, I asked you, what is the sign of mental illness? You said depression. It's you who chose it.
But I was speaking in terms of what it
okay, I ask you.
My friend, why do you do this? Why do you interrupt?
Hold on. How we know that somebody is mentally ill? You said the word depression, not me. And here, actually, this is not depression. This is way more than depression, because not everybody has depression. He will go throw himself from the top of a mountain. This guy is suicidal, and not only that, he tried to commit.
It doesn't mean that he was bogged down by life to the point where he wanted to kill himself.
No,
it just because he was receiving, revelations, and at first he wasn't aware. He didn't know what to think.
That make him more guilty, because if you are a person who believes in God and you know that God is true, then you should not kill yourself, because God is not sending you revelation no more. God, he do as he wish.
But wouldn't that have been before suicide? Because I don't think that he would, and that the Arabs knew that suicide is haram, because they didn't.
What Arab they knew? Anyone, a human being, you do suicide, you lost your mind.
Of course.
Okay. How many times your prophet he tried to do that? The hadith says he attended many times, several times, and then each time he go to the top of the high mountain. The angel, he says to him something specific. Do you know what he said to him?
Can you put it? Is it on the screen?
It's in the screen.
Would appear before him and say to him what he said before. Okay. He it is that cleaves the daybreak.
Read carefully. And whenever the period of the coming of the inspiration used to become long, he would do as before. What he do before? Let's go back a little bit here. Okay, it says here, the prophet, he becomes so sad, and he have heard that he intended several times to throw himself from the top of the high mountain, and every time he went up to the mountain in order to throw himself, Gabriel, read for me, Jihad.
Gabriel would appear before him and say to him what he had said before.
No, here, I just highlighted for you.
Oh, and whenever the period of the coming of the inspiration used to become long, became so sad, as we have heard, that he intended several times to throw himself from the tops of the high mountains, and every time he went up up the top of a mountain in order to throw himself down, Gabriel would appear before him and say, "O Muhammad, you are indeed Allah's messenger in truth," whereupon his heart would become quiet and he would calm down and would return home. You see, I don't know if I can believe this, because it sounds like there are some Sahaba who they were jealous of the Prophet. They want to be the Khalifa, and they want to be the ones in charge, and they are trying to defame him.
Okay, so based on your opinion now, that obviously there's somebody trying to make Muhammad look bad.
Yeah, it has to be the Sahaba who they want to be. Maybe they want to take power of the Muslims after him, or they want to make him look bad in some way. So they, so they make these stories on him.
Okay, so now in order to find a solution for the madness of Muhammad, we claim with no proof that this is a fabrication of the Muslims, who they are the most close people. How come Omar did not say this is false? How come Aisha did not say this is false? How come none of the Muslims say this is false? How come you have it in your book and this is Sahih Bukhari?
Well, I just think that there needs to be a reevaluation of what hadith should be accepted and what hadith should not be accepted. Some scholars need to sit down together and sort this out, because if there's a lot of this kind of stuff in there that nobody can answer, then I think some of these should get taken out for sure.
But this is Sahih Bukhari. How you can take it out from the Bukhari?
Because how they want to embarrass the Prophet, like this kind of stuff that's written about the Prophet, it's insulting him. Alayhi salatu wasalam.
Okay, so
how can we accept it?
Okay, so guys, the Muslim for the last 1400 years, they did not see this as insulting. Jihad today, because he went to school, he is more educated, he is smarter than people before generations, he is not naive. He finds that this is very embarrassing and very insulting. Correct, Jihad?
Yeah, I find that there are certain hadiths that are insulting, yes, to the Prophet himself.
Okay, why you are saying this is insulting?
Because this hadith is depicting my Prophet alayhi salam as if he is not a sane man, which we know that he was. He was a sane man. He was a man with a high IQ. He was a man.
Prophet, he was a man of high IQ?
Oh yes, he was a smart man. He was a handsome.
Can you prove to me that he was a person who was a smart man?
He was a businessman.
He was working for Khadija. He never been a businessman. No, listen. He was not a businessman. He was working for Khadija. And a smart man, he will not go and work for somebody, at least for a period of time, maybe to collect some money to start his business. But Muhammad never had his own business. He's not a smart man. He's always working for somebody until he claimed to be a prophet. And that became his business. And as you see, this person is suffering from mental illness. Now listen. Is it true that your prophet, he imagined himself he had done things which in fact he did not?
There was also a situation where I thought that they might have been making up hadiths, but that was when he got sick and he had a black magic.
He got sick.
But again,
he got sick where? In his brain?
Well, I guess somebody they put a spell on him, is what they're claiming.
So you are in the year 2021. You believe that somebody can put a spell on you?
So are you saying that we have to accept this hadith as well?
My friend, I'm not the Muslim. You are the Muslim. I don't accept all this garbage. For me, this is all garbage. Muhammad himself. I'm not insulting you, but you know my opinion. Don't ask me. You will be offended. So don't ask me what I think about this. I think this is all is garbage, and everything is all Islam is garbage. But you are saying to me things doesn't make sense, just to avoid the fact that your prophet obviously mentally ill. Because look, we discovered that he tried to commit suicide. We found him jumping in the muddy water full of dead dogs and wind blood from period, and even rags, you know, and even the garbage. I mean, this is not a behavior of somebody have a brain. And the top of that, now we find that Muhammad, he imagined himself had done a thing. In fact, he's not. And how you explain that? You say he was bewitched. What does that mean? What bewitched mean?
Well, I guess he had a spell on him from a Jewish woman.
Okay, what does that mean? What that spell does to a person? Now, a Jewish person, here we go, we have to blame the Jews, you know? Okay, a Jewish person, he made a spell on Muhammad. What happened to Muhammad by that spell?
You know, I want to say that, you know, when you look at hadiths on the internet, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because, you know, the Mossad agency of Israel.
The Mossad agency. But my friend, this is Sahih Bukhari. Even Sahih Bukhari written by the Mossad agency now?
But did we pick this book, Sahih Bukhari, written by Imam al-Bukhari, taken from a library in Saudi Arabia?
Doesn't matter, go and find. Okay, if I find the same hadith from the Islamic government website of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, does that will make a difference for you? I can get it to you from there.
So I mean, who knows with these online hadiths, because we know.
Don't play the game, Jihad. I respect you as a man. You are different. You know, not like those kids who call me. So talk to me as a man, please. If you have a proof that this does not exist in the true Sahih Bukhari, then get me busted. Otherwise, you're just trying to find a solution to escape. That's the truth, Jihad. This is embarrassment. So look, Muhammad is a person who jumped in the dirty water. Muhammad jumped in the dirty water. Is that a behavior?
I mean,
no, you have no answer. I agree, but don't answer saying this is fabricated and this is Mossad. This is a joke. This is something written more than 1,200 years ago. And you say to me, this is the one who the Mossad wrote.
Well, you have to be aware that Israel does want to keep the Islamic nations divided.
Okay,
so those Jews are very smart.
Okay,
and they do speak Arabic. Okay. And they do study Arab society very well in order to keep us divided. We are 300 million population. They are 6 million, and they are winning everything because they stick together and they keep the Arab divided.
Okay. So, when the hadith says that the Prophet he imagined himself doing things, including sex, and that is mentioned by Aisha. How Aisha she worked for the Mossad?
Well, I guess you don't understand the point. I mean, they study the history enough to fabricate it in that way. But let's go.
But there was no Israel. There was no state of Israel when this book is written. Israel is just 60, 70 years old now, the new Israel. So what are you talking about? Mossad and CIA. What is that, man? Read with me in the Quran.
Okay, let's assume this is true.
Hold on. We are not assuming.
If this is true.
This is not assuming. This is your books, and this is Aisha. This is the first witness, Muhammad, you have. This is not assuming. Now, if we go to the Quran, chapter 87, verse number 6, it says that Allah, He will recite the Quran for Muhammad, and Muhammad will not forget. Do you agree with that verse?
I agree with the Quran, yes.
Okay. This is not fabricated by the CIA, the Mossad.
No.
Okay. So if Muhammad he forget the Quran, then this verse is fabricated then. Do we agree? If Muhammad he forget the Quran, that means Muhammad he is really a fabricator. Because if Allah said to him, we will give you Quran and you will not forget the Quran, that's it. If God is with me,
so why do I hear things that sometimes you hear that there's there was a goat who ate some pages of the Quran, and then some 70,000 ayat, and the one we have now is 6,000. So this is another thing that I'm investigating.
I did not get you. I'm saying the goat who ate the Quran, that is additional problem which we don't really care for. We can go for it later. But do Muhammad forget the Quran? Do Muhammad, he promised that his God, he promised him he will not forget the Quran, and then he forgot the Quran?
No, he will not. The verse says he will not forget the Quran.
Okay, and then the hadith says that Muhammad, he forget the Quran.
The Quran says he forgot the Quran, or the
hadith.
Like, are you saying there's another verse to say that he forgot the Quran?
My friend, the hadith says that your prophet, he forget the Quran. Your prophet, he forget the Quran.
But in that verse of the Quran, who is Allah speaking to? All Muhammad, the Muslims?
No, Muhammad specifically.
How do you know?
The verse, read it.
I have a... You went to the hadith now.
Oh, okay. Let's just go to the verse. Hold on. Sorry.
So then what is this about the goat who ate the Quran?
Well, this is a holy goat, obviously. Allah, he sent his goat, maybe. I mean, you know what? I think this goat is sent by the Mossad. What do you think?
Well, I wanna know about it. It's in the hadith.
Yeah, I can show you the hadith, no problem. We can go there.
We shall now make you read, so you will not forget. Okay. So he will not forget the Quran.
But he forgot the Quran. Here we go. This is the hadith. We will go to the goat later, maybe after this one. Do you see? The Prophet heard a man reciting the Quran in the mosque, and he said, "May Allah bestow his mercy on him, as he reminded me of such and such verses and such surahs."
But does that mean he needs to memorize it letter by letter?
Well, isn't the verse says Allah will recite the Quran for him and he will never forget? Yeah, letter by letter, like you can.
Yeah, you will not forget. You will not forget about the Quran. But I mean, it's
No, he says I will give you the Quran and you will not forget the Quran. That's it. Isn't you Muslim? You say the Quran preserved by letter, blah blah blah. This is what you say.
You have to be a hafiz. You have to study.
Hey, but this is the Prophet. Hafiz. You will keep repeating what Muhammad said, and that make you hafiz, which means you memorize, which is very silly and stupid. Because who care about memorizing a book? We care about understanding the book. And your Prophet, he confirmed that when he pray, he skipped verses, he skipped even the chapter, he skipped it. So what kind of a prophet he claimed that Allah, he gave him Quran and he will not forget? And then when he pray, people, they say to him, "Hey prophet, you missed those verses. Oh prophet, you did not say this."
What?
Yeah, this is what it says. This is the hadith in front of you.
Allah's apostle heard it. Wait a minute. Which one are you going to? I'm trying to read one. The Prophet heard a reciter reciting the Quran in the mosque at night. The Prophet said, "May Allah bestow his mercy on him as he reminded me on him, as he made me remember such and such verse, which I had missed in such and such surah." What do you mean? What is he forgot?
Yeah, you are saying
forgot.
Yeah, you are saying he did not forget. He did not drop it. He said, "I missed." In the translation, it says, "I missed." In Arabic, it says, "asqattuha." If you don't like this translation, let me show you. Here we go. It says, "He dropped." Here we go. This is your Muslim translation. This one is even nicer. It says, "He reminded me of such and such verses and such surahs." Not only he forgot verses, He forgot surahs, which I dropped from my memory. This is the Muslim translation.
But isn't he a man?
But the Quran says we will recite Quran to you and you will not forget. You Muslims are really weird. When you want, he's a man. When you want, he's not a man. If God, he said to him, I am God, I will give you this book and you will not forget the book. And then we find that Muhammad, he dropped chapters from his memory. If not that Abdul, this chapter is gone. So when Allah, he made a promise to Muhammad that you will not forget the Quran, Allah was making a false prophet. So listen, now we confirm that Muhammad is mentally ill because he jumped in the water. Dirty water have dead dogs. And menstruation will feel the wudu. He do water, which is from the menstruation rags. In the top of that, Muhammad, he tried to commit suicide. Obviously, you are the one who pick up the option that have suffering from bad depression. And now Muhammad, he's lost his mind. He imagined himself had done a thing. In fact, he did not. Even he dropped the whole Quran when he said that the Quran promised him, that Allah promised him, that he will never forget the Quran.
I just want to say one thing. Okay, so when you look at all those ahadith, they might sound so bizarre to us in our time, but we cannot.
No, it's not the sound. It's not sound bizarre. It is bizarre. You are the one who said that. It doesn't sound bizarre. I said it might sound.
No,
it's not might. Don't say might. Is it bizarre or not?
Well, what I'm saying is it might sound bizarre.
You keep using the word might. Is it bizarre? A man, he jump in the water, have dead dogs, and win blood from period. A man, he claimed to be a prophet of Allah.
See, this is the problem, CP. You don't allow a person to make their point, and that's why.
Because you see, I am different from others. I go after you by the word, by the letter. Others, they let go. I don't. This is religion here. This is about God. This is about salvation. This is not about we say words and we jump and we let it behind. You can do that with other Christians. You cannot do that with me. So you said it might sound. It doesn't work with me. Either you say to me it is bizarre or you say it is not.
I am telling you that we cannot apply the same standard of logic that we have now as back then. Let me give you an example of that.
Yeah, give me an example.
Many people. Okay, so this issue of the, or not issue, but this topic of Aisha radiallahu anha, her age being 9 years old. This didn't come this didn't become a talking point to try and defame the Prophet until the 21st century, because you had for thousands of years or hundreds of years people from all different generations and all different backgrounds. They used to criticize the Prophet, they used to try to defame him, but they never came to that point. Nobody in the 13th century, for example, who wanted to criticize the Prophet alayhi salam, would ever say anything, oh, he married a girl that was 9 years old. No, because obviously at that time, people in Europe did it, people in China did it, people in India did it. So that's what I mean by a different standard of logic between then and now.
Let me ask you. Do you have a proof that any person in the time of Muhammad from the Arab, he married children?
I believe it did happen, yeah.
Okay, do you have a proof?
I'm not aware of any reference, but
is it true that even Abu Bakr himself was shocked when Muhammad asked for Aisha? And he said to him, and he tried to
I actually never heard that.
You never heard of anything I say. I know. All Muslims, they do that to me. Because Muslims are ignorant about the religion. When Muhammad, he went to Abu Bakr, he did not say, hey, let us have a party. But he said, I am your brother. How you do that to me?
Oh, I am your brother. Because he didn't understand that it's not brother of blood. It's
no. You see, he should be happy. He knew first that he can marry because he is not his brother. And Muslims, they marry from each other anyway. That's a joke. So why he's trying to find an opposition? Because this is sick. And look, Muhammad, he forced Abu Bakr to accept. Abu Bakr did not accept. Read carefully what he said.
But the Prophet did not.
No, he did
have
not even
marital
give him.
relations
He did
with
not
Aisha
even give him a
until
chance.
after she had her period.
No,
After
that's not
she
true.
had
I can show you the reference. Don't go there. Don't go there. This is the lie. They keep lying. I can show you the hadith. It says clearly that she did not have her period even when she became 14, which means more than 7 or 8 years after she married your prophet, if we can call him prophet. So read with me carefully. Prophet asked Abu Bakr for Aisha hand, or in marriage. Abu Bakr, he said, but I am your brother, which means, come on.
You got off the page.
The Prophet said, you are my brother in Allah's religion and his book, but she is lawful for me to marry. And he took her. And then he married her at the age of 6, and he was fondling her until she is 9. She is his wife.
You need to, okay, I've heard you say this before.
Yeah.
Fondling.
Yeah.
Where do you get this from?
Well, Aisha, she said clearly that he did intercourse. She mentioned the intercourse at the age of 9, correct?
Yeah, but you said fondling her.
Okay, but she's his wife, correct? She's wife.
Yeah, but do you have proof that he did that?
Well, here we go. She is his wife already.
All right. Regarding this hadith, it doesn't show that Abu Bakr objected to the marriage on the basis of Aisha's age. It just shows that he was ignorant about the definition of a brother in faith versus a brother in blood relation. Okay. Therefore, I don't see any problem with this hadith.
Okay. Did your prophet ask?
Yes.
Did your prophet he ask for the hand of a woman when she is an infant?
Well, 6 is not an infant.
I'm saying she was an infant. She is just born.
But she was 6, right? Not.
Come on. You see, I'm just trying to find a solution for your perverted prophet. Okay, forget about all of this. Let's go back to 0. So,
but you said the word infant. An infant means newborn baby.
Yeah, newborn baby.
Means 6 years old.
Yeah, did your prophet he asked for the hand of an infant baby? She's 1 day, 1 year old, or 6 months, a month. Are you there? Hello? Are you there, Jihad? The guy, he went to the house of somebody, and he saw that they have a baby infant. He said, if she grow, when she grows, she will be my wife. Like, what the heck? She's an infant. He just asked for the hand of a newborn baby. Isn't it clear this is a sign of mental illness? So look what we did. We showed them that their prophet, even he imagined himself having sex. In fact, he did not. The prophet, he imagined himself doing things. Yeah. So I was saying to you, Jihad, when a man, if a man, he come to you, and you have a newborn baby girl. I know what happened to this guy. Are you there? Bad internet, huh? All right, Jihad, get yourself ready.